Thank you very much for coming, I appreciate it. Can I tell you about my day yesterday? It was manic, as you might well expect. I was trying hard to get the parental-pupil communications right and to help lead the staff body through as challenging a time as anybody currently working in education can remember. It was a grueling day, and by 17:30 I was ready to collapse. Then the Education Secretary and the Prime Minister both spoke. You will all have seen it. The headlines on the newspaper this morning were mostly clear and frank. The Times went with exams cancelled as virus forces schools to shut. The Daily Mail went with schools out, exams out, death saw and army in. Well done the Mail, doing their bit to keep things as calm as possible. The Express went with the Queen keeps smiling through. Nice to see. The Prime Minister said last night that grades would be awarded through an alternative system. However, when he was quizzed on this, it was clear that he didn't yet know what the alternative system would be. There was lots of blah, 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 blah. Not a clue. There are no details beyond the fact that the exams which you've been preparing for over the last 2 years will not happen. The Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, told the Commons yesterday, I can confirm that we will not go ahead with assessments or exams and that we will not be publishing performance tables for this academic year. We will work with the sector and Ofqual to ensure children get the qualifications they need. I've worked in education for 20 years, I don't know what that means. This is devastating news. Those of you who I've spoken to have been really upset by the fact that the exams won't go on. You know that mostly you're in pretty good shape, that you were gearing up for a slog through revision over the coming weeks and months, and that you were, in a perverse sort of way, looking forward to the challenge. You'll be asking the question, quite rightly, what next? We are asking the same question. The government has said that more details will be given tomorrow on how pupils will be awarded grades in the absence of exams. We do know that Universities UK have said that pupils should not lose the chance to go to university this year because of the move. This is really important to make clear to you all. Your places at university are not under threat. The universities have an economic imperative, more than ever in this time of uncertainty, to ensure that they are full from September. They will want you to come to them just as much as you will want to go to them. The bit that is missing now is the bit in the middle. There have been some of you, I know, who have seen the absence of the exams as a bit of a relief. Some of those who haven't, perhaps, been working as hard as they could have over the last couple of months, and who were daunted by the scale of the mountain that we're going to have to climb before walking into that exam hall in May. Some of you may, in a misguided fashion, be thinking that you don't have to work anymore. Feet up, Netflix on, relax. Now, whilst I don't know what the government will say tomorrow, I will say that nothing could be further from the truth. The government could choose to use predicted grades. They may choose to use teacher-assessed work. They may even choose to change their minds and go ahead with the exams rescheduled later in the summer. It is all completely unknown. But nearly every scenario I can foresee is going to involve you all keeping on working hard over the coming months. There will be those of you who are tempted to throw your hands up in despair, burn your notes and say it's all for nothing. Such a nihilistic approach isn't going to help you, and it's not going to help your future. The coming months are going to be defined by your ability to keep on going in the face of uncertainty. I am confident that all of you, those in good shape, and those only just starting on the mountain, are strong enough mentally to get on with preparing for an uncertain future by continuing to work hard. There is still a purpose. That purpose may be broader now than just finding out the results in August, but it is a purpose nonetheless. You are in the upper sixth. You are going to be leaving prior at the end of this year, and many of you will already be walking around in tears because you think that today is your last day. I say this to you, stop it. This is not your last day. We are not going to let the end of your time of prayer be defined by a government-mandated closure in the face of a global pandemic. This isn't what 7, 5 or 2 years here will come down to. When this crisis ends, and it will end, we'll have everyone back for a proper farewell. It may not be the Leavers Week you were expecting, though it still might be, but it will be a chance for you to say a proper au revoir to each other. And it shall be au revoir, not a goodbye. It isn't ever a goodbye. Prayer is part of you. You are part of each other, and you are part of prayer. Stop crying and metaphorically tearing your garments. It isn't over. There are times for tears, but there is equally a time for looking up from your tears and moving on. I told you at the start that I had a grueling day before the announcements from the Prime Minister and the Education Secretary yesterday that decided to cancel exams. You'll have seen that I sent a letter announcing the school's closure to you and your parents, and then I walked home. I'll be entirely honest with you now. I walked into an empty house. My family are all self-isolating in Berkshire, so it's empty and it's alone. I poured myself a glass of wine, I slumped to my kitchen floor and I cried. I was wrung out. I had no emotional energy left at all. I know that many of you will have felt the same. You may even have acted in the same way, but hopefully without booze, because alcohol is not good for you. However, in the midst of my tears, I thought of a line from Scripture. Now, I'm not typically one for quoting Scripture, as you have seen from my assemblies. I'm more likely to quote Hamilton. Indeed, my knowledge of this passage doesn't come from my time in church. It comes from my obsessive watching of The West Wing. Great TV for those of you who are forced to isolate for a few months, by the way. The line is, "Joy cometh in the morning." It is from Psalm 30, or Season 4, Episode 3 of The West Wing. In the midst of my tears, I thought of that line, "Joy cometh in the morning." And I laughed at it. I ate my supper, went to bed, and when I woke up this morning, I felt a little better. Maybe it wasn't joy, but it certainly wasn't that crushing devastation I felt yesterday evening, and that I'm sure you all felt as well. I felt happier because I had a purpose. I knew that I had to come into school and talk to staff, talk to pupils, and do my job. To try and offer some leadership in a time of crisis. To try and offer some hope in a time of uncertainty. You all have a job to do. A job that can give you some hope, some purpose, and thus some happiness. Sitting down and watching Netflix and YouTube for 3 months before hoping you'll manage to make it into university isn't going to help you. Keep on working until the work is done. Keep on working on your academic studies. Focus on the task ahead of you, and that task is to do all you can do to be prepared for whatever eventuality COVID-19 and the government throw at you. Keep fighting for your future. Keep fighting for the sort of world that you want this to be. One of the things that has impressed me so much about this year is that you are mostly deeply committed to the cause of making the world a better place. COVID-19 might be an opportunity. It might show us all how we can work differently, how we can have less of an impact on our world, how we can work together and how we can change our world to be a better place. As strange as it might seem, that movement starts with you today. It starts with you not giving up and stopping working. It starts by you doing all you can to put yourselves in the best position to succeed in whatever tests, assessments or criteria the government will throw at you over the next couple of months. Put yourself in the best position you can. Keep working hard. This is not the end. It is just the start. Please bow your heads and listen to the words of the psalm I mentioned earlier. I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto the Lord, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment, in his favour is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Lord, by thy favour thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou didst hide my face, and I was troubled. I cried to thee, O Lord, and unto the Lord I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Lord, and have mercy upon me. Lord, be thou my helper. Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness. To that end, that my glory may sing praise to thee and not be silent, O Lord my God, I will give thanks unto thee forever. We're going to sing a hymn. The hymn we're going to sing, and the request of the head girl, is Shine Jesus Shine.